Hey guys. So I have purchased two new foundations recently, and the one I'm going to talk about today is the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Foundation Stick. The last time I had a foundation stick, it was the e.l.f. one, and I don't think they make that anymore. I haven't seen that in a long time in the stores, but I really enjoyed that. So when I saw that Makeup Revolution came out with one, I was so excited to try it. But Makeup Revolution is a UK-based brand, and so they normally release things over there first, then we have to wait a few months. Same thing happens when it's an American company. Sometimes the UK has to wait. Well, this time I had to wait. And I was really looking forward to trying this. It's $9 here at Ulta. And if you buy it in the UK, I believe it's only $5. And in the United States, taxes are added on after the purchase price. So it's even more than $9 actually when you add on the tax. Whereas when you buy something in the UK, the taxes are already included in the price. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's almost double the price here. But that's okay because I still feel like $9 is a very reasonable amount of money to spend for a foundation. And so my Ulta got this foundation, and I felt as if maybe I was in between the shades. I got F3 and F5, and I was right. F3 is a little light, F5 is a little dark, and so it's a good thing that I did that because I think this is going to be really popular. So if I went back and then tried to get one of the other shades, they probably would have been out of stock. So I'm going to start with applying a primer. This is Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. I've had this before, but I just recently repurchased it. I really love this primer, especially on my skin. I have dry skin, and this feels really nice on my skin, and all foundations go on beautifully over it. So I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of that. It's just one of those clear gel type primers. So I find the easiest way to apply this is with my fingers. It's just one of those silicone gel types. Kind of like Benefit Professional. This is sort of a dupe for that for a lot less money. So I picked up this shirt yesterday at Michael's, the craft store. I didn't even know they had clothes in there. They have these Gildan t-shirts, and they're pre-shrunk. They come in a bunch of different colors, and they call this safety green, but to me this is definitely not green. This is yellow, but my husband said that it does look green to him, so I guess it just depends on who's looking at it. But I didn't have anything yellow in my wardrobe, and so I picked this up. They actually have this color on clearance right now. I think it was $1.97, and it seems to be really good quality. I was so shocked that when I looked it over, it looked like it was really well made, and I think the regular price on these is, I want to say $5. So that was a steal getting it for $1.97, which you might as well say $2. So now I have something yellow in my collection, but technically it's green. Alright, so primer's on. So I played around with these over the weekend, and the way that I found to me looks the best is to start with the lighter shade F3. So it's just a twist up stick. And I put this all over. Like that. and then just take a brush and blend it in. I'm using the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. And this blends really nice. The texture is thick but creamy at the same time. They say that it's a dewy finish. I wouldn't go that far. It feels moisturizing on the skin, but I wouldn't say it's dewy. I would say the finish on this is natural, is what I would say. It's definitely not matte or even semi-matte, but it's not dewy either. The coverage is medium, I would say. Okay, did I blend it well enough? So yeah, that's a medium coverage foundation. And I did not set it with a powder, although it could have been set with a powder if I wanted to. I don't feel as if my skin would have got too dry if I had done that, because I do have to be careful with, you know, using powders with foundations. The only one that I've found recently that I can get away with that is the Essence Fresh and Fit Awake foundation. That definitely needs to be set with a powder. It's so tacky, and that's a dewy foundation. So that's what I do. I start off with F3, then I grab the F5. Oh, and by the way, don't ever drop this. I was getting ready yesterday and I dropped the F5 and it bounced several times on the carpet and it stained it. And I used a really strong carpet cleaner and it didn't take all the stain out. So don't drop these. They're super pigmented. Matter of fact, you can see that this is all messed up now because it hit the carpet. So what I do is I take this darker shade and then I take my brush and I put some of the product on my brush and then I do the perimeter of my face just like I would a bronzer. So instead of using my bronzer that I normally use, I'm using this the same way except for blending it a lot better. So I just keep dabbing a little bit of product on at a time. And because this is a slightly darker shade, you just want to make sure that if you do this, if you're between colors like I am, just make sure you blend this out really well. Okay, then what I do is I'm also going to contour with this. And the reason why I'm not putting the product directly on my face is I feel as if I did that, it would be too much product, that I wouldn't be able to blend it out. Okay, so I really liked the way this looked as far as the color distribution doing it this way. It would be a lighter contour than what I normally use because I usually use an actual contour stick. But you can definitely do it this way. But I love the way this feels on my skin. I feel like if you had oily skin, you might not like this foundation because it does have like a slickness to it. That was one of the reasons why when Maybelline came out with a stick foundation a few years back, I didn't really like theirs because it catered to people with oily skin and it had, so for me, it had sort of a drying effect. I don't know. I had kind of mixed feelings about that. That was a very strange formula on that foundation. Okay, so then I'm going to take my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer, and I use this shade C1. I did the same thing when I bought the concealer. I bought 2 shades, not really sure which one to get, and I'm glad I did that because, again, it ended up being hugely popular, and they've been out of stock of this for quite a while now at Ulta, so I wouldn't have been able to go back and get another shade. I just use my foundation brush and blend this over, not just under the eye, but over the entire eye area. And that's just going to help cancel out discoloration and veining in that area. This one here. My worst eye, it has to do with the way I sleep, I think, at night, and the way, like, the fluids drain in my sinuses and stuff. TMI. Okay, so that's what the foundation looks like when I'm done. It covers everything pretty well. And so at this point, I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and then let you see the finished look that I'm doing today. And I'll talk a little bit about my final thoughts and any additional information on the product. Okay, so makeup is done. And I wanted to show you a couple of swatches of these shades. Now keep in mind, I placed the swatches on the inside of my arm, and the inside of my arms never get any sun, so they're much more pale than my face would be. So when you see the colors, you're probably going to be thinking, wow, those 2 shades, why did she pick those 2 shades? Those are too dark for her. But no, it's just because the inside of my arms doesn't ever get any sun. So there are the 2 swatches right there. So the lighter one is F3, and then the darker one is F5. And they have shades for cool tone, warm tone, and neutral, which is great. So I got the 2 lightest of the cool tone shades. And as you can see, there is a huge difference between the 2. That's why I really wasn't sure. But I was able to use that F3 all over my face and then just use the F5 for contouring. And so my final thoughts on this is it worth $9? Absolutely. I love this foundation. And I bought, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I bought another foundation just a couple of days before I bought this one. And I love that too. And I was also enjoying the Essence one that I had been using. So now I have 3 foundations that I absolutely love. And I'm going to have to jump around and use all of them because I don't feel like any of the 3 foundations deserve to be ignored. Plus I have some others that I like as well. But you know, when you have a YouTube channel, you're always buying things and trying things out. So it's hard to just stick with any one thing at any given time. So the only other thing I want to say is that I have yet to try this with powder on top of it because I love the way it looks without powder. So that's why I haven't done that, but I'm definitely going to try setting it with powder someday and just see how that alters it. And I kind of wish I had thought of that before I applied my blush and highlighter today, and I could have maybe added a little bit of powder at the end of the video so that you could see how that would affect it. But yeah, I will try to mention that in another video when I get a chance to do that. But yeah, I love this foundation. I feel like the shade range is great. I think the formula is really nice. The only downside I see is if you had oily skin, like I mentioned before, I think it might be a little too moisturizing for you and could aggravate, if you are acne prone, could aggravate your skin or something like that. But for everybody that is normal to dry, I think you would love this, and I think that the color selection is great, the price is great, and the other downside is the only place you can get it in the United States is at Ulta if you want to physically buy it in a store. If you want to shop online, of course you can buy it from Ulta's website, but Makeup Revolution now has a website dedicated exclusively to Americans. It's makeuprevolutionusa.com, I believe. Just type in Makeup Revolution USA on do a Google search and it'll come right up, just in case that wasn't right, but I'm pretty sure it is. So that's it for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I appreciate you watching. If you're not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button. If you like these kind of videos, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye.